The only person who remembered the Titans was Mike Tirico, and he just was taking one for the team. I can't even really give Tirico that much credit for that one. He was just like, let me just go against everybody else. But honestly, listen, you cannot blame everybody else because few people can say honestly that they saw last night coming, especially the manner in which it came. But here's the thing, all you can say about the Titans, man. Even though they lost their heart and soul in Derrick Henry, their collective heart does not pump Kool-Aid, okay? No matter what, them dudes gonna fight, you know?
That's right.
As Cedric the Entertainer once said of Anthony Mason, he always fighting. Like, they gonna fight you, regardless of who's out there. Then you can't take the Titans nowhere. They gonna fight you. You know, they gonna square up. If there's a street fight happening, I'll take my chances with Mike Vrabel in Tennessee because that defense does what the Titans managed to always do, which they punch in them out, you know, and they beat you up. And, you know, listen, they got mollywopped by the Cardinals in the opener at home, which looks less and less shameful by the week. We'll get to the Cardinals later. And they somehow managed to lose to the Jets. But all I know is they swept the Colts. They won at Seattle with an incredible second half comeback to win in overtime. That was Russell Wilson's Seahawks. They beat the brakes off the Chiefs, and now they've won at the Rams. And so they've won 5 straight, the last 4 as underdogs. I can't imagine too many people sleeping on the Titans after last night.
Yeah, but why did it take last night to get there? Okay, let's say you said the last 4 as underdogs. How about 3 in a row as underdogs? So you got those Bills, Chiefs, Colts before last night. You're underdogs in those 3 straight games. Why does it take that? And in the same week, mind you, to get the Bills and the Chiefs in the same week to knock them off back to back. That's impressive.
No Derrick Henry.
So, all right, look, I love Derrick Henry still. If Derrick Henry were healthy, I'd say the MVP of the league is Derrick Henry. But we know that's not going to happen. He's going to miss some time, and he's going to be out of the running. But when we talk about complete teams in the AFC, how can you pick somebody over Tennessee? I can understand that you say Baltimore is right there with them. You could say Buffalo is right there with them, but they beat Buffalo. I mean, I think you have to say at the very least, they are trustworthy. They are thorough. Tennessee will always handle it. See, they're thorough in their preparation. They're thorough in the way the team is built. They're thorough in, like, if you look at all aspects of their team and you say, all right, is Derrick Henry the face of it? Sure, he could be. But on a team that has...
It's Vrabel.
Right. But you can say Vrabel. You could say it's...
Honestly,
I know he just
boring,
got there.
but it's Vrabel.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, it's not boring. It's one of the answers. I think there are probably 3 or 4 correct answers. I mean, it could be Julio Jones, even though he just got there. It could be Byard, who we heard from after the game, who had the pick 6, and I love how he admitted it. I was in the wrong place. I wasn't even supposed to be there. The coaches told me I was in the wrong place, and I still get the pick 6. They cover every aspect, even if you really want to go on the low-budget answer of who's the face of the Titans. You know, you can go with Ryan Tannehill, who they brought in, and this is such a Tennessee story. I love it. They brought in Ryan Tannehill not because they had this big vision of him being their starter and turning into one of the best starters in football. He really has since he's been there. They brought in competition. They wanted more competition from Marcus Mariota. Mariota slipped. Tannehill took over the position, and he hasn't even come close to giving it up. So much so that I know most people, I don't know about people in the country, but I know a 6-state region in the northeastern part of the country, everybody was convinced. Tom Brady leaving New England, free agent. Oh, he's going to play with his boy, Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel go choose Tom Brady over Ryan Tannehill. I do remember that. And right before
they paid him. They broke him off.
They paid him
proper like. Yeah.
They're like, what are they doing? What are they doing? They could have had Tom Brady. They chose Ryan Tannehill.
I like the Tannehill
Tennessee
take.
Titans. Yeah, Titans. The Titans are the most thorough team in the AFC. I don't know about football, but in the conference for sure.
I like the Tannehill take, but I'll say specifically the last night, to me, the person who best embodied the personality of the Tennessee Titans was A.J. Brown. Because A.J. Brown was not with the shits, okay? Like, he went toe-to-toe with Jalen Ramsey last night. And to me, that embodied what the Titans are all about. It's like you're not going to punk them.
Yeah.
You know, like usually they do the punking. You are not going to punk the Tennessee Titans, even if 22 ain't back there, you know, because they got some dogs on defense and they got some guys on offense that's still going to take it to you. You're right about Ryan Tannehill. Somehow, even after the year he had specifically last year, he does remain underrated. And there were some questions about this offense without Arthur Smith calling the plays, you know. And last night wasn't about the offense. They made the plays that they had to, but it was about a defense that continues to cause problems. You and I got into it about Sean McDermott. I almost said Sean McVay. They're having their way with the Seans. Sean McDermott's decision to go for it at the goal line, about the wisdom of the quarterback sneak with Josh Allen. I was like, yeah, they got some dudes on the other side that get paid too, and they get paid for a reason. And you saw that again last night. That defensive line completely made life miserable for Matthew Stafford. And that's the thing about last night. While this team, you know, they're the favorites moving forward. They're the number one seed right now. They're the favorites moving forward. I hesitate to say that in this league, especially after what we saw yesterday. But you look at what they got left. Now, they got some tough teams left on their schedule. They got the Saints, they're at the Patriots, and they're at Pittsburgh. So they got some tough teams left. But in terms of just their body of work to this point, they're in the driver's seat, and rightfully so, in terms of being the class and the top seed in the AFC, not only because of who they've beaten, but how they've beaten them. How they've beaten them. Like they take it to the opposition. So they're the team I trust the most, and that's why I say Vrabel is the face of that franchise because of the consistency. That even though they lost the guy that most people identify the Tennessee Titans with, they still didn't lose their identity. You know, they still didn't lose who they are, despite losing Derrick Henry. And winning a game at the Rams, I know Von Miller was in street clothes, but bro, they went and won handedly against an MVP candidate in Matthew Stafford. I know you laugh when I say that, but that's facts. An MVP candidate in Matthew Stafford. Okay. Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and a team, and we just heard an example of that most people thought, you know what, it's the best team in the NFC, if not the league, given how topsy-turvy or how all over the place the AFC is. So I think last night was an eye-opener, even though, to your point, it probably shouldn't have been.
Yeah, okay. All right. Now listen, as you just made a reference to what happened yesterday, to you know, a lot of teams that you didn't expect to winning, and we'll get to we'll talk about some of those matchups in detail. But it really was an incredible night when you really think about it. But I want to say this, Mike. We're going to be in Los Angeles for the Super Bowl. You'll be there. I'll be there. I should
God
not
willing,
make
the creek
this
don't
down.
rise.
That's right. Yes. God willing, we'll be there. And you've seen enough football where you should lecture me against saying something like this. I've seen enough football where I know better. I should have bleeping known better to say something like this. But we're going to see the Tennessee Titans. Okay, maybe I won't say they're going to be there, but when we get down to the conference champion, we get down to the Final Four. They're going to be one of the Final Four teams.
Oh, stop! That ain't it. Come on, man. If you gonna go with a hot take, go with a hot take. Don't mess around with it. Do it expeditiously. Yeah, okay, you sit up there. They're gonna be in the Final Four. Yeah. They're gonna be there at the end. They're gonna be a factor. Nobody wants to play them. Nobody wants to play Tennessee in the playoffs. Like, no, man.
Another one. I got another one.
Go with it. Let's go. Pick them.
Here's another one, Mike.
What?
Mike, here's another one.
What?
Don't be surprised if.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. That's my favorite one. That's a good one. My favorite one.
Don't be surprised if a little team from Tennessee, a little team out of
nobody's talking about.
Nobody's talking about this.
Okay.
No, but they're going to be there.
So quit messing around. They AFC champions?
They will be in Los Angeles.
I like it.
They will be there February 13th on NBC with programming on Peacock. Brother from another in prime position will be there as well. But this is a team that they got all the elements. And you know, you mentioned those games.
And Henry might be back. Henry might be back.
Not that being a favorite means anything, but you said they got some tough games coming up. You know, they got the Saints, They got the Patriots. And what's the other team you said?
At Pittsburgh,
Steelers.
Week 15. Yeah.
Okay. They're going to be favored in all those games. They got the Patriots in a few weeks. They'll be favored against the Patriots, 5-4. Yeah, it's probably like a 2-point favorite against the Patriots or a 1-point favorite at Gillette Stadium. Unless that game is that game at home? Is that game in Tennessee or is it in
Is that New England?
Anyway,
Week
they'll be
12.
favored against
At New England. Week 12.
Okay. They'll be favored against the Saints. Shameful Saints. They'll be favored against Pittsburgh and New England. I just don't. And the other thing I like about Tennessee is that this usually doesn't happen in the NFL. This is more of an NBA kind of story. But you can see this with Tennessee. So in the NBA, generally, you see a lot of teams that are on the doorstep. So they knock. Okay, they knock in year one.
Oh, right.
They lose in round two.
Some things. Yeah, you got to go through some
then
things.
the next year, they lose in game 7 in round 2.
Yeah.
And then the third year, they break through.
Conference
Tennessee has been in this position.
They battle tested.
Tennessee ended. Hey, they gave Tom Brady an L in his last game.
Right, they ended the era. Yeah, they frustrated Lamar Jackson.
They've gone to Baltimore.
Yeah,
they've gone to Baltimore and knocked out Baltimore. They had a big lead against Kansas City and gave it up. So I think it's their time too. On top of everything else, not because Tennessee's going to win because it's their turn, but it's psychological and it's also practical. They got everything it takes to win.
Well, even from a psychological standpoint, for them to go into SoFi, like first game without Derrick Henry, first game against the Rams in prime time. Not that team has any kind of internal doubt. They're not wired that way, obviously. But for them to go in and make that kind of statement the first time out, they didn't take any time having to adjust to life without Derrick Henry. They were like, hey, ain't no thing we've used. What was the number? I think Michael's used last night, 77 players. They've used 77 players this year, and they acted like Derrick Henry was just another one, for crying out loud. You know, they hit the ground running during this time without Derrick Henry, and that's got to bode well for them psychologically to go into LA in prime time, beat a one-loss team, and not just beat them, but beat them up. Before we go to break, man, I'm shocked that we've gone this long into the opening segment. And because first of all, let me read it. This was at, let me read you this text real quick. This was at 9:11 p.m. last night. This dude had this saved in drafts. You know who this is from. Matt Stafford is exactly who I thought he was. He's just Matt Ryan who was trapped on a bad team. Yeah. And I said, bruh, as soon as they got the second pick six, I was counting down to this text. That's what you know who that was. Okay. So that was Jason. You know it was Jason. So I'm shocked.
I know.
I'm shocked that you're not here with some hot Matt Stafford or worse, some dome team take. I'm surprised. I mean, because this is my Rams, and trust me, the more they win, the more I talked about my Rams. So I mean, now's your time, player. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. Give it to me. I can take it. Give it to me.
I'm not one of those trolls. It ain't a troll. Who just
what's fair is fair.
It's trolling. Yeah, there are a couple of reasons. One, in defense of Matt Stafford, and guys, you have that graphic. Put that graphic up. Okay, it was just one of those weird nights. It's one of those weird nights for weird things. It was a weird day, and it ended in this way. The teams that weren't supposed to win won. Look at this. Mike,
what does that even mean?
Stopped doing.
Oh Lord. Yeah, Mike, bet your money. Here we go. Go ahead, get it off.
We stopped doing
it. Get it off. Get it off. Go ahead, get it off. Go ahead.
This is the time to do it.
No, we did the right move.
Why'd I stop? I'm getting the Jones again.
Because it was the right thing to do.
It's like you were franchise mode.
Exactly.
Once you see a reference to it, you see underdogs winning. You're like, come on.
Yes.
I got to get in there. But look,
what does that
underdogs
even mean?
won.
Who's not supposed to win?
But this is what it means. It's just Matthew Stafford. Just to be fair to you and all the Stafford fans, because Stafford has tons of fans. For a dude who toiled in Detroit for so long and who never won a playoff game and put up a lot of empty stats, who's a fantasy football champion, but a champion nowhere else, he's got a lot of fans. in local and national media.
But to be fair,
Matthew Stafford.
Wait. No disrespect. I'm waiting for the part where, like, where's the complimentary part? You know, you said you weren't going to do it, and then you proceeded to just. You
didn't hear the compliment there?
No,
there were a lot
of
compliments in there. It kind of baked in. You gotta. It baked in there. It's subtle. It's subtle.
Okay.
No, so Matthew Stafford, to be fair to him, it was the second loss of the season for the Rams. They're losing, they lost to a team that I think is going to be in the Super Bowl. And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if.
Don't be surprised if.
When the Tennessee Titans are representing the AFC in the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not picking them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're facing the Rams. We talked about this last week. Like, the Rams can play a home game. So they took it from a team that is all about it. Just dropped the mic. They took it from a team that's all about just punching anybody. Whether they punch up, they punch down, they punch straight ahead. So I'm not going to jump on Matthew Stafford today.
Fair enough of you. Okay, not today.
And
all right, I was looking for
Mike.
Okay, I was looking for a dome take.
Mike, it's November.
It's November. Okay, good.
Next week.
I'm not going to press my luck.
Thanksgiving. Maybe around Thanksgiving, December.
Yeah.
Because if he loses in December, I'm going to give you a little preview of what I'm going to say. Of course he loses in December. Matthew Stafford's not used to playing any big games in December. So when you count on him, he's going to let you down. Sean McVay, you should have known that. Rams, you should have known that. We've known it for a long time. Welcome to the party.
But you're not saying that today. That's what you would say, today. Hypothetically speaking.
That's what I would. That's what I will say in a couple weeks.
Understood.